interest rates up, interest rates level, fixed interest rates, inflation, building costs, property prices. At the end of the day, where it hits people really in the pocket is property prices. And we're going to tell you this morning where we are in the property cycle and show you how it works. So stay tuned.
I always take that opportunity to do my hair, just to have a look at it at least.
Do you know what? When it starts, I can. It blanks out the music, so I always opt to listen to the music because it just, I don't know why. It just gives you the vibe. Good morning. How are you, Billy Bob?
I'm good. Yourself?
Good. How is the old man in the younger man's body?
Yeah, good actually. I've actually gone for a golf tie today, right? I don't play golf. I don't actually have a huge amount of interest in golf, but I thought I wouldn't mind having some interest in golf. And what better way to try and find a golf lover at our open homes today? It would be quite an obvious one if they spot the tie. So, yeah.
That tie could be called an old man's tie.
It really is, yeah.
Hey, there's Lydia.
Yeah.
How are you, Lydia?
Good morning.
I saw Lydia's property last year. Good timing, Lydia. Good timing.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, no, it's going to be a busy day.
Yeah, so tell us. So sorry about your tie. Good luck with the tie today. I hope you find a
Thank you.
Single female golfer.
Thank you.
At 19 years of age.
Yes.
Billy Bob, the property cycle. So, look, we don't have to try to reinvent it. It is a cycle. It has always been a cycle. My answer, when I get asked how's the property market, I love saying it's been very good the last 100 years, and I think it'll. And then they go, what? And you go, and I think it's going to continue to be very good the next 100 years. My point is, what are you saying?
No, I was going to say that's great. Carry on. I'll add on in the end.
My point is that anything you see in the media is very, very current, and they're reporting on the last week, the last month, the last quarter. It is so boring to talk about the last 100 years. It is so boring and not relevant to talk about the last 50 or 30 years. But it's so clear that the market is in a cycle, and it goes in and out of that cycle all the time.
Absolutely. What I was going to add to that is I guess there's a lot of reassurance you can get from looking at the 10-year trends or 5-year trends, and looking at how you can almost look at how the cycle's, flowing within that, which is awesome.
And most of the problems that the economic problems that come up and get overcome, they've all been experienced before. Inflation is not a new thing; it's been going on forever. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So suddenly when it hits, everyone's like, "Ooh, hang on a sec, we've got a problem. What is this?" But we've got these are market forces and things that have just always been happening in society and in life. Big reason you wanted to talk about today, Billy, is the interest rates. You've got the shits because the rates went up again. I've got the shits. You've got the shits. You were saying that it sucks.
It was interesting. I was listening to the radios as I was coming in, and they were saying, I'm not sure where they got their numbers from, but they were saying this is now the 8th consecutive rate rise. It generally takes 6 to 12 months for a rate rise that kind of affects us to start hitting the economy. Whereas they went double, couple 0.25s, and here we are. I think in their opinion was too quick, too soon. It didn't really allow that effect to, flow in. Another couple of interesting bits they mentioned was debt levels are 3 times higher than where they were at in the 80s. So, the argument of saying that we've had high, interest rates before and everyone managed is maybe not so accurate when you look at what debt levels, how they come into effect. And then the final bit to that was the amount of people on fixed interest rates at the moment, amounts to about a third of homeowners. When they come off, it's going to be a real rude awakening, I think, when they come back into maybe double or triple what they were, getting if they picked up a cheap rate for, in COVID. So there
I
you
find
go.
that surprisingly low that it's only a third of people are on fixed rates. And I actually find it refreshing that 2/3 are surviving and moving along. It doesn't seem to have put people into a massive tailspin. Although if it did put people in a massive tailspin, they're probably not going to tell their friends and family, are they?
It's true. But yeah, it'll be interesting nevertheless. We've got some info here for you, though.
What have we got?
So we are...
Oh, this is beautiful. This is it. This is the Holy Grail.
This is the Holy Grail. I'll zoom out and then we can zoom back in so you can see everything. But I guess at the moment is a buyer's market. Although I don't think we're seeing signs of this real, slump at the moment.
So can we start from the top, Billy Bob? Just go right from the top of the cycle. So as you can see, it is a cycle. It does go around. It's probably about a 10-year cycle out of interest for everyone. But if we zoom up, top, what do we start on?
So seller's market, obviously high confidence. I think in that boom, the real indicators of a boom opposite to the, a downturn is, property prices are well up, shortage of tradespeople, more buyers than sellers. There's a lot of media behind it. We definitely saw that last year. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
The slowdown.
That was definitely 2021, wasn't it? There was the hot media interest. There was a lot more buyers and sellers. Then we started feeling the shortage of tradespeople as we came into that as well. And what's the other one there? Property prices.
Yeah.
Increasing rapidly. So that was definitely 2020, end of 2020, and it was definitely 2021. And then towards the end of 21, here we go.
That's it. Do you think we came down as quick as we went up?
Surprisingly, yeah. Yeah, I do.
Which is rare, or like how does that compare to some of the other cycles you've seen?
Well, there was also this time we've had so much in this cycle, because bear in mind it was 10 years before we went into this last cycle. There's been so much more information out there in the market. And what we realised from all the information out there was there are markets within the market. So the northern beaches actually prospered better. Central Coast, those sort of areas, those lifestyle suburbs actually prospered better. Inner city did a lot worse. In a good market due to COVID. So
right.
Yeah, and I do find the correction that we're experiencing, I've seen it happen just as fast on the beaches, but there are parts of Sydney where the correction's only 6%. There's parts of Sydney where it's 29% negative.
Yeah, and I've seen how rural is very different to, I guess, cosmopolitan city,
Yep. All right, so we're going through that boom. We've talked about that boom. Could we go back to the top again?
Yep,
top right quartile. So then we started seeing, because the prices went bananas, we started seeing rubbish rents. And everyone's going, why would I rent when I could buy? Interest rates were low. Then there was this affordability crisis, rising interest rates. So that's when the government decided to put the interest rates up. It meant people actually couldn't afford to pay these expensive prices for properties. Construction prices dropping.
Yep.
That doesn't happen.
High unemployment as well. Also relatively not high, is it?
All right. So I think you can see here we're probably not at the end of that we're probably not at the end of that cycle, are we? Because I'm only starting to get little inklings now from builders that they're starting to become available. I had a talk to a massive home builder who builds 600 homes a year yesterday. Their pipe was 18 months out to deliver it, to start to deliver a new home. Their pipe was 5 months out before they went into the market, the boom of the market. So
Wow.
the big guys are now telling me that they can build, they're more available, and they can build faster. So
Wow.
that's interesting.
All right. So I guess here's what's funny though is like a lot of it, I guess if you ask the media, they'd definitely tell you we're in this lower half. But what we're seeing on the ground is mixed. Is mixed. Some of these halves. Like we were saying off air, how inflation and scarcity has almost helped curb the bottom of the property market at the moment. There's such little stock and still buyers out that it's almost, it's actually given a bit of, I think it's propped it up in a way.
Yeah. So look, the fact is that if developers can't afford to develop, and builders and people can't build new homes, and there's more population coming into the country, it adds to scarcity. When you're dropping new places, if you double the amount of properties in Sydney, you can almost say Sydney values would halve. So you've scarcity is very, very important. You don't want too much stock, but you want a rate of flow of stock coming in the market, which we're not getting because of population growth. We're just not getting it. And you are right, Billy. The quartiles that you're looking at, that we're showing you, some of these things that are happening are in different quartiles at the moment. So property prices have started in that black one. Property prices have started falling prior to unemployment starting, but I think you can look at unemployment being on the horizon.
Yes.
High rental vacancies, more sellers than buyers. We've seen more sellers than buyers from probably 12 months now.
Yep. But high rental vacancies, again, I'd put a question mark over that one. It seems like it's flying off the shelf at the moment. Really hard to come by quality rentals.
They are. Now, don't forget, when you look at this this cycle that we're in, we've assumed that when these things are falling into a quarter of the cycle, they go on for a quarter of the time. So we're assuming that if this is a 10-year cycle, that each of these quartiles is 2.5 years from beginning to end. Not the case. That unemployment can last for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. It can last for 1 year. So these things may actually end up spilling into the upper quartile and the left quartile. You know what I mean? Like, they can go for longer.
That's true. And another good one you mentioned is, it might be a 10-year average, but that's an average. Sometimes it's 7 years. Sometimes it's a bit of, faster, slower. So,
yep. All right, let's do the bottom left.
And then that recovery. I love recovery.
What does recovery look like to our country in the Sydney property market?
Rental increases. That's a good one. I think we've seen that. You can tick that off the list. Low rental rate. Yeah, big time. And that was needed. There was, a missing part of the market there that was desperate for, some rental increases. Low rental vacancies. Again, tick.
Can you zoom up a bit more?
Yeah.
Bottom left, yeah. Nice, thanks, man.
Housing levels tightening. Thoughts on that one?
That's scarcity. I don't think we're there yet.
Rising prices. We're not quite there.
Not there yet.
And then we're back in. But yeah, I think what's happening on the ground at the moment is it's certainly not as grey as this slump looks like.
So, guys and girls, I think the recovery could be longer than everyone's estimating. I reckon that if you think we're going to see a booming property market in the next couple of years, it's probably not going to be booming. But I think if you can see scarcity coming into the market, I think you can bank on rent. But we know scarcity in the rental market, rent's going to go up. Scarcity in the sales prices, sales properties, prices are going to go up. So keep an eye out on scarcity. It's a word no one talks about. It's low stock. It's something no one talks about, but that's going to certainly put a floor in the market and potentially ignite the market.
Yeah. I think it definitely will, and that's something the government doesn't really have too much impact over. Like these levers they're pulling, obviously, they do help, contribute to that in the end. But it's interesting.
Yeah, low stock's the one. G'day, Luke. But I think at the end of the day, whatever that cycle's doing, we just got to continue to have fun.
Are you angry at the government, Mark? Are you angry? Are you upset? Are you disappointed?
Nah. You know what? I trust. I trust what's happened. Like, I'm not being fickle, but I just think, all in all, they got us through COVID with getting us in a lot of debt. They got us through COVID though, and I don't know. I think that, and the government. Who is the government? Like, I really see it as our community and our people. That are really running the country. Like, you saw what happened when government made bad decisions. The community through COVID, the community uproared and set things straight. So I just think like it's just a great country and a good community that Australian community that we're in, and that's what I trust in. And I just know that we will just even though there may be adverse stuff coming with higher rates, we'll just motor through it because we're a tough nation.
That's it. Well, hopefully that's it for the rest of the year in terms of rate rise. And they're going to do a pop-up meeting, but yeah, it's been a bit quick turnaround on that kind of on that side of things, hasn't it? It's been a very quick turnaround.
I've never seen it. I've been an agent for 30 years, and I would never have picked the last 3 years, and I would never have thought the market could have. I did think go up that quickly because I'd heard of it happen before in the 80s, and so I was sort of wasn't surprised by that, but that negative direction, I was well surprised by. Again, not all suburbs of Sydney, but in the ones where I did see it correct, I was pretty surprised.
Yeah, I think that's the show.
Are you a scared 19-year-old?
No, I'm not scared.
What do you reckon about it?
I definitely think cash flow is just the thing you got to keep your eye on. And as long as that's good, everything else will be good.
Yeah.
That's it.
Just make sure there's money in and going out.
That's it. But even in a good market, right? That's the same thing. So it doesn't change. Just adjust a little bit. Just adjust. So yeah,
that's a really good call, because the people who have done that in good times and bad times have always actually been brilliant. So I think it's not about it being faster, stronger, smarter. I think it's about actually adjusting to accommodate what's happening around you. I think you put it well.
Yeah, that's the show.
Thank you, old man in a young man's body.
Thank you,
everyone. Sensei. Interesting topic today. I hope we helped. Look, it seems to be on everyone's mind. Have a great day. Anything else to go out on, Billy Bob?
No, that's it. Happy Wednesday.